You sit down, block out the time, and stare at the blank screen. Minutes turn into hours, yet that first step feels like pushing a boulder up a mountain. Why does the simple act of beginning feel entirely impossible? This invisible wall of resistance is a universal human experience that destroys countless goals. The mind conjures a million distractions, making sudden household chores feel urgently important. The friction of initiation is the ultimate dream killer. People often label themselves as lazy or undisciplined during these agonizing moments of delay. Society reinforces this toxic narrative, making the paralysis feel deeply shameful. But this freezing response runs much deeper than mere willpower or discipline. Here is the brutal psychological truth that changes everything about this frustrating cycle. You are never actually procrastinating on the physical task itself. You are actively avoiding the negative emotional state associated with starting that specific task. When faced with a demanding challenge, the brain immediately simulates potential failure, confusion, or overwhelming boredom. The amygdala perceives these future negative emotions as a literal present-day threat. The mind hits the emergency brake to keep the body perfectly safe. We deeply fear the gap between our current ability and the final perfect outcome. Staring at the massive distance between zero and completion triggers intense anxiety. It feels much safer to remain at the starting line than to risk stumbling. Perfectionism acts as a heavy anchor, chaining potential to the floor of inaction. The demand for a flawless beginning makes any messy first attempt feel completely unacceptable. This rigid thinking guarantees that the project never even gets off the ground. Another massive trap is relying on the illusion of future motivation to arrive. We falsely believe that tomorrow will magically bring endless energy and laser focus. So we trade present discomfort for the temporary relief of putting things off. Have you ever noticed how the perfect time to start simply never arrives? Waiting for the stars to align is just another sophisticated form of self-sabotage. Conditions will always remain imperfect, leaving the chronic waiter stranded forever. It is time to shatter the biggest lie the self-help industry ever sold. Motivation does not spontaneously appear out of thin air to spark action. True motivation is actually the byproduct of taking action, not the prerequisite. Taking one tiny step creates a small ripple of momentum in the nervous system. The brain registers this minor victory and releases a tiny hit of dopamine. That chemical reward provides the exact fuel needed to take the second step. This psychological phenomenon is known as the Zeigarnik effect. Human brains absolutely hate incomplete tasks and open loops, demanding resolution. Once a process is finally initiated, the mind naturally craves the satisfaction of finishing the job entirely. The heavy burden of an unstarted task drains mental energy constantly in the background. It consumes far more cognitive resources to actively avoid a task than to simply do it. The mental toll of continuous avoidance creates profound, exhausting anxiety. Over time, this chronic avoidance morphs into a toxic core identity. The internal monologue shifts from skipping a task to believing you are fundamentally broken. Escaping this dark identity requires completely rewiring the approach to initiation. What if the secret to overcoming resistance is actually lowering the bar completely? Instead of aiming for excellence, give yourself absolute permission to produce garbage. Removing the pressure of quality eliminates the fear blocking the starting gate. Imagine standing at the bottom of a massive staircase looking all the way up. The sheer height makes the climb seem entirely impossible from the ground. But focusing only on the very first step makes the journey incredibly manageable. The 2-minute rule is a powerful weapon against initiation paralysis. Commit to engaging with the dreaded task for exactly 120 seconds. If the resistance remains overwhelming after 2 minutes, you have absolute permission to stop entirely. Almost every single time, those first 2 minutes effortlessly break the invisible barrier. The friction of starting evaporates, replaced by the natural flow of engagement. The hardest part is truly just opening the document or lacing up the shoes. Cognitive overload occurs when the brain cannot process the sheer volume of required steps. Breaking a massive project into microscopic, manageable pieces bypasses this neurological traffic jam. A tiny action feels completely safe to the threatened emotional brain. Decision fatigue completely drains willpower before the actual work even begins. Setting up the environment the night before removes crucial friction points in the morning. When the path is totally clear, the mind encounters absolute zero resistance stepping forward. Consider the sheer power of writing one single terrible sentence on a blank page. That one awful sentence successfully destroys the intimidating perfection of the empty canvas. You can always edit bad work, but you cannot ever edit a blank page. Resistance often masks a deep lack of clarity about what actually needs doing. Vague goals like getting healthy or starting a business are guaranteed recipes for paralysis. Crystal clear, actionable microsteps eliminate the confusing fog of uncertainty entirely. Stop relying on fleeting feelings and start relying on structural systems. Amateurs wait for the perfect mood to strike before doing the difficult work. Professionals show up and force the mood to align with their deliberate actions. Forgive past failures and release the suffocating guilt of wasted time. Beating yourself up only reinforces the negative emotions that cause future avoidance. Radical self-compassion is a surprisingly effective strategy for breaking the procrastination cycle completely. Have you ever noticed how the dread of starting is drastically worse than the actual work? The agony of anticipation amplifies the difficulty tenfold in the imagination. The reality of doing the task is almost always mundane and entirely survivable. Try implementing a 5-second countdown to bypass the brain's natural hesitation mechanism. Count backward from 5 and physically move the body on 0. This simple psychological trick interrupts overthinking and forces immediate physical momentum. Visualizing the immense relief of completion can also pull you forward directly into action. Connect deeply with the future version of yourself who is entirely free from this heavy burden. Let the desire for peace outweigh the temporary comfort of avoidance. Every time you successfully start, you cast a powerful vote for a new identity. You prove to the nervous system that you are fundamentally capable of doing hard things. This vital evidence slowly rebuilds the crucial foundation of shattered self-trust. Focus strictly on the process of beginning rather than the final grand outcome. Celebrate the simple act of opening the laptop or stepping inside the gym doors. Reward the brave initiation, and the eventual completion will effortlessly take care of itself. Distractions are easily accessible escape hatches expertly designed to avoid momentary discomfort. Blocking these escape routes forces a direct confrontation with the necessary work. Putting the phone in another room drastically increases the likelihood of actually starting. Remember that momentum is a heavy train resting completely idle on the tracks. It requires massive physical energy to get the wheels turning those first few inches. But once rolling, that exact same train effortlessly smashes through solid concrete walls. The magic you are intensely looking for is hidden deeply in the work you are avoiding. There is no secret hack or hidden shortcut to bypass the initial friction. Embracing the intense discomfort of starting is the only true way forward. Treat the intense resistance as a compass, pointing directly toward what matters most. The stronger the hesitation, the more important the task likely is for profound personal growth. Lean directly into that friction instead of running frantically in the opposite direction. You possess the profound ability to act entirely independently of your current feelings. Action is a deliberate, conscious choice, not a spontaneous emotional state that randomly occurs. Reclaiming this immense power transforms the entire trajectory of a human life permanently. The endless waiting finally ends today. Right here, in this exact, definitive moment of clarity. Stop overthinking the monumental staircase and simply take the very first tiny step. The absolute hardest part is officially over the exact second you decide to begin.